So, hi you two, it's Miss Green. It's time for our story. I thought that I would read you a story called The Runaway Iceberg today, and I thought it fitted in quite well with the context learning that we'd done in the spring term about the Arctic and the Sahara. So I want you to listen out and see whether you recognise any of the facts that they might be talking about. So it's called The Runaway Iceberg. "Land ahoy!" shouted Rosie, looking out to sea with her telescope. "Shall we dive in and explore, Captain?" "You know I don't like swimming," Gasper said with a sigh. Suddenly a cracking sound came from below them. Before they had realised what was happening, a chunk of ice had broken off, and Caspar and Rosie were floating out to sea on an iceberg. "Quick, swim!" shouted Rosie, but Gasper was afraid. "I can't!" he cried, peering into the deep, dark sea below. The iceberg floated out farther and farther until they could no longer see land. "What are we going to do?" asked Gasper, trembling. "How will we ever get back?" "We're brave explorers, remember," said Rosie, holding Gasper's flippers. "We will find a way." Gasper took a deep breath. "I guess we could use our flippers to row back," he said. "But which way is home?" "Lift me up," said Rosie. She climbed onto Gasper's head, but she was still not high enough to see land. "Try jumping," she suggested, giving him a little nudge with her foot. Gasper jumped, and they both landed on the ice with a thud. "Need some help finding your way?" asked a snow patrol from above. "Oh, yes, please," called Gasper. "Which way is land?" "It's this way," called the snow patrol, flying high above them. Gasper and Rosie used their flippers to row as hard as they could, but the current kept pushing them the wrong way. "Need us to give you a push?" asked an Antarctic silverfish from below. "Oh, yes, please," called Gasper. The silverfish pushed the iceberg along until suddenly it became stuck. "We'll never get through here," exclaimed Gasper. "Need some help breaking through the ice?" asked a blue whale from the deep. "Oh, yes, please." With a huge flip of its tail, the whale smashed the ice and cleared the way. Gasper and Rosie bobbed along behind it, glad to finally be on their way back to safety. "Land ahoy!" squawked the snow patrol. "It's been a great adventure," said Rosie, grinning. "We're just like real explorers." The sun shone brightly in the sky as Gasper and Rosie headed for home. "Hey, stick to your side, Captain," laughed Rosie as Gasper's tail feathers tickled her feet. "I'm right on the edge," grumbled Gasper. The two penguins turned to face each other in shock. The iceberg was getting smaller and smaller. "It's melting!" shrieked Gasper. "We need to move faster." The silverfish swam quicker, and the blue whale helped to push, but the ice was melting too fast. "We'll have to swim from here," said Rosie. "You can do this, Gasper. I know you can. You are the captain after all." The silverfish started to cheer. "Gasper! Gasper! Gasper!" Soon everyone had joined in, and Gasper began to feel braver. Gasper gulped, then with one big jump he sploshed into the water. "Oh!" he spluttered. "It's so chilly." "Use your flippers," shouted Rosie as she dived in over Gasper's head. "Whee!" said Rosie as she headed for home. Gasper flapped his flippers and followed nervously behind. It wasn't long before Rosie and Gasper were back home with their families. "You did it, Captain," said Rosie. "You got us through our most dangerous adventure yet." "I guess I did," agreed Gasper, feeling proud, "but I couldn't have done it without my trusty first mate." Look at all the penguins there having a lovely time. Well, I hope you enjoyed our story for today. I'll leave you with that little picture of all the penguins together. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel for even more fun stories.